Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today I'll be doing a little bit of movie news. Haven't done movie news in a bit. Thank you all for your patience, as I have not had a lot of time to dedicate to the channel other than for the live streams, which I do every Tuesday and Saturday, just because of life getting in the way. But I saw this bit of a news story from Bounding into Comics, who is a friend of the channel, and I immediately got excited because even though I myself have not actually played the Ghost of Tsushima title, I did watch, and again, this is my this is me trying to show my credentials to talk about this. I did see the entire gameplay done by PewDiePie. So I think that because I did see the entire gameplay, because I did see all of the twists and turns of the story, and because I saw just like the amazing fighting sequences and the amazing fighting mechanics of the game, that I do have some level of at least ability to talk about this story a little bit. But if you don't think I do, then hey, you probably didn't like me in the first place. But before I get any further, please be sure to smash the like button and smash that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey. I do upload these videos to Odyssey and also to minds.com as well. So as it says here, Sony has announced that there will now be a live action adaptation of Ghost of Tsushima. And not only that, but that it will be helmed by the John Wick director. Now, this has me all kinds of excited because I'm a huge fan of the John Wick universe. I think it's one of the coolest action franchises that we've had in a very, very long time. All three films have been solid. All three films have been good. For different, various different reasons. A couple of, I would always, the way I always describe my love of the John Wick movies is that John Wick 1 is the best all-round story. John Wick 2 has the best background, the best lore building, world building, and John Wick 3 has some of the best action in it, especially that knife fight sequence. But with all of that being said, all of the things that we've seen, all the really cool fighting stuff, all the practical effects, all of the really awesome training that the actors have had to go through for those movies has me really excited for them to be in charge of a Ghost of Tsushima movie release, because it means that we're probably going to get a lot of authentic actors who are actually having, sword fighting skills, or actually going to be able to use those skills and are going to be able to do so in a way that is believable, right? We live in an age now where so many action films just go towards the lowest common denominator, where they just go for, trying to use as much CGI and green screen as they possibly can. But I think that having these people behind it, having these, this director specifically behind this project, will really help make this film be the best that it possibly can be, focusing more so on the action elements, making sure they look great, authentic, and if they are able to use the same storyline, as I imagine that they will, from the Ghost of Tsushima game, then they could actually do a really incredible job telling this really, really cool, badass story. As I said, I didn't play the game, but I definitely really want to play the game because, as I said, I did see the entire gameplay done through the lens and through the eyes of PewDiePie. Obviously, I'm not a big heavy gamer though, as I don't have a lot of time for gaming, and also typically I'm just not that good at games that require a lot of memorization of different buttons and stuff like that. That's just me, and that's just where I stand at this point in time. But let's go ahead and dive into this story just a little bit. And this is from Josh Berger of Bounding into Comics. This was announced just yesterday. Sony announced on Thursday that they have partnered up with PlayStation Productions in order to develop a live-action adaptation of Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch's critically acclaimed video game. According to the official announcement, as reported by Deadline, the Ghost of Tsushima live-action film will be directed by Chad Stahelski, who has made a name for himself as the director of all three of the movies in the action-packed box office hit series John Wick. And yes, indeed, box office hit series is correct. If you actually follow the box office for all three films, it gets bigger every single time. And what does that tell us? It tells us that they were able to build an audience with the first one, again, using an original concept, an original property. They were able to establish an audience. It did incredibly well on post-release as well, on Blu-ray, DVD, and now, of course, on 4K re-release as well. And then every single film after did even better, meaning that it was able to grow its audience. And it's a franchise that is continuing to grow. I cannot wait for them to be able to release a John Wick 4, because I think that it's going to be an incredible addition to the series. As long as they continue to remain faithful to kind of the mechanics of what they've been doing in all the other films, I think it'll be fantastic. And if they're able to use that same mindset, that same logic, and to bring it and to adapt it into a Ghost of Tsushima live action film, I think you could also see some of the same thing. One thing I would be concerned with a little bit is that they might try, and obviously this would be Sony more so than Chad Stahelski, would be to try and turn this into like a franchise, try and turn this into a few different movies like they have with John Wick, because in this game, right, we do have a set story. You don't obviously have to go through all the different side quests and side tales, though I imagine if you're going to be faithful to the game, you're going to want to have at least some references to those various things, especially with the writing of the haikus and things like that. Again, if my memory serves me correctly, which it may not, but I think that having those elements in there could make the movie adaptation really, really good. Now, I will say that I am critical of this slightly because obviously I want Hollywood to be focusing on more original stories and more original concepts, but when it comes to a video game adaptation, obviously those are some of the ones that have so much potential and can be really, really good, but for the most part over history have just not really turned up. Really, the only couple films I can think of that are video game adaptations that were able to hold up just a little bit would have been Sonic the Hedgehog, which was an okay movie from last year, and then of course back from the 90s, the original Mortal Kombat movie, which holds up for a lot of nostalgic reasons. So obviously there's that concern there, and I'm sure there's others that can point out other video game adaptations that they personally enjoyed, but I think that this would be one that, especially if this director stays onto the project, because obviously this is just an announcement, so they're probably in pre-production trying to find out who their actors are going to be, trying to get the script together, all that kind of stuff. And obviously Sony, as we all know, Sony does not have a very good track record all the time with being able to give us good products, and sometimes just likes to spit things out for money instead of telling good stories. So there's definitely still a lot of reason to have some doubts and to have some speculation, but if they are allowing the John Wick director to have more full control over the project, I think that it could end up being pretty damn badass. As it says, producing the film are Chad Stahelski, Alex Young, and Jason Spitz through their 8711 Entertainment Company. With similarly, PlayStation Productions will see Assad Quiselbash and Carter Swan producing the upcoming Ghost of Tsushima movie. So having Chad there with a producing credit as well shows that he's going to have some creative control of the project. And so I imagine that based on the fact that the John Wick world has been in his hands and he's had a lot of control over that, I don't imagine that he would not allow or not be allowed to have the same level of control. So we'll see if he stays on. It would be interesting if for any reason he and his group ever leave, or there's reports of behind the scenes chaos, then obviously that would be reason to be concerned, because if they're not going to allow him to be able to stay faithful to the vision of the video game and to be able to work with the people that wrote the story and made the video game, and instead try to put in some random woke agenda, well, then obviously that's going to be really bad. And of course, Sony has been known in the past to work with groups that do that. So we'll have to wait and, of course, see exactly what will happen in the long run. As it says here, we're excited to be partnering with Chad and 8711 Entertainment to bring their vision of Jin's story to the big screen. So again, it seems to indicate that it is their vision, so the vision of 8711 Entertainment and not so much PlayStation Entertainment. We love working with creative partners like Chad who have a passion for our games, ensuring we can create rich adaptations that excite our fans and new audiences. And there it is. Be very careful with that last part about new audiences. My guess is that he means that in the broader sense of people that don't play video games, but obviously we want to be very careful that he doesn't try to make this an adaptation that goes for the new audience instead of, the people that are fans of the game or people that would be fans of the game if they actually were to play it. It says no more information about this exciting new project was revealed, so we'll have to keep waiting to see who will be cast as Jin, and specifically what Zuke Tsuji, the actor who played the character in the game, will, if that actor will reprise the role. Which again, based on the look, based on the voice, it actually would probably be a pretty good shout to have. Though of course they're gonna probably try and choose whoever's the best person from the job. But something tells me that if they want to make the comic, or rather not the comic, the video game fans of the series, or rather of the game, excited and to get them on board with it, having him be brought in for the role would probably be a pretty good one, especially if he can hold up and do a lot of the effects and a lot of the stunts that will be needed for this kind of a movie. But anyway, that's my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this game's going to be good? I know that Geeks and Gamers did a video saying that they were not as excited about this. I haven't had a chance to watch that yet myself, and I'm sure that there's a pretty good reason there. But just for me, Ghost of Tsushima was a really awesome game just based on, again, the gameplay that I've seen. And again, I saw PewDiePie's entire gameplay throughout the entire series, but also, too, I'm excited that you have the John Wick team behind this project, at least at this point, because I think as long as you have that and you have them be true to the story and you have them take it as seriously as they have the John Wick movies, you'll probably have a damn good time at the theater. And Lord knows that by the time this project comes out, most likely 2022, 2023, that we'll probably need to have those kinds of films in theaters in order for us to be able to, have some enjoyment during this crazy time of continued nonsensical pandemic. But anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in all the things that you mentioned, anything I mentioned rather, in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, smash that fire button if you're watching over on Odyssey. Also, please be sure to vote in this year's Wednesday Raven Awards, choosing the best and worst in movies and pop culture. You can go to my website, which is linked in the description below. Go to the Raven Awards, to Raven Awards for 2020, and there you will find a link to the Raven Awards ballot. And if you want to see what the ballot looks like, here are the various nominees for this year, and also explanations for each of the categories if you need those as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. You are all amazing and beautiful people. Oh, you all have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my March Patreon members: Andrew Hoyle, Animation Commentator, Brian P., Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, The Honky Chonky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jay, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Carney, Laura the Modern Major General Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, on to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Benden, Tina Bojan, and Biffer the Hobbit, and of course the Empress of the Universe, Tina B. Thank you all very much for being my Patreon members. And now a shout out to all of my Subscribe Star members: Stan 4, John B., Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / the new number 2, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebanon G. Adams, and ZK-Man, and Fast RXN, and Nosferatu Gatsu. And Dion, thank you all so very much for being my Subscribe Star members, and to everyone who has been supportive of the channel. Of course, a shout out to my YouTube members, and you all know that you get your special perks every single time that we do a live stream, so thank you again for your support. If you want to have your name shouted out at the end of every single live stream and at the end of every single video, please check out the links in the description below to become a Patreon or Subscribe Star member today. You're going to also get access to things at the upper tiers, like a bi-weekly podcast that I do with my friend John the Flick Pick Flickinger. We also, of course, have a Chosen of Valhalla live stream once a month where me and my Chosen come together on this channel to talk about whatever it is that they want to talk about. So anyway, if all that stuff sounds interesting to you, please check out the links below. You guys are amazing, beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.